Happy solstice, everybody. Today I am going to show you what I've been working on in the last year and a half, especially, and with a lot of help from my partner Kate. It's a mandala garden, so it's like this circles upon circles um, shape where we grow most of our food annuals. And it's been a lot of fun to work on. It's a work in progress, so there's still a lot that I'd like to do with it. But you can see the basic shape, and I'm already growing things in it because I am impatient. I was even growing things last year when we hadn't even finished the walls yet. Um, so yeah, it's just a fun project, an unconventional way to grow food plants, an unconventional shape at least. But I don't like straight lines, and I really enjoy having all these curves and circles and keyhole patterns. That was really important to me, and I've always wanted to do a project like this, so I'm grateful I had the opportunity to last year. So let's take a look. Here we're passing some snags that I left. These were some really tall alders that were getting dangerous. They're right next to the septic field. Um, and yeah, so those needed to come out, but I left these stumps here, these tall stumps, so the birds can enjoy them. And it's been good for the wildlife so far. Lots of birds and bugs like to get in there and make their homes, hunt for food. It's a good thing to leave up. So here's the entrance. I wish someday I would love to get a drone and take a bird's eye view of the garden shape. It's hard to get a clear picture of it on ground level. So the whole thing is about at least 40 feet diameter. It was even bigger than I had originally intended, but I'm glad I made it this big. There's a lot of potential, a lot of growing potential. So the entrance here is um, a, a a bamboo arbor that I made for the beans growing on either side. They're gonna go up these strings, up the poles and everything, and hopefully across the top. A few of the beans have finally reached the top now, so I'm hoping to let them grow over there. And yeah, that was actually something I always wanted to do. This bamboo was donated by my friend Erica Knapp, and she's running for the Arlington School Board. And you should vote for her because she is an awesome person, not just because she donated bamboo to me, but she's been doing a lot of good work in the community. And you should, if you live in Arlington, Washington, you should vote for her. So, anyway, moving along. I don't even remember all the beans, the varieties of beans that I planted here. So we're just gonna see what happens. I am a lazy, messy gardener, and I just kind of like to see whatever takes off. I love volunteers. I tend to just let those grow, and you can see I also let a lot of weeds grow too because, well, I only have so much time in the day to work on this. It's mostly me by myself here, so you're going to see a lot of weeds, a lot of messiness, and well, I'm not going to apologize for it. So right here in the middle, you can see some potatoes growing. Those were not intentional. There are no intentional potatoes in this garden, even though they're everywhere, because at one point last year I threw a few potatoes into the compost, and that got worked into the soil. And once you have a little bit of potato, you will always have potatoes. So if you're looking for an easy crop to grow, I mean, I just don't even pay attention to these things, and they just take off. I don't even know what variety it's going to be. just whatever I threw in the compost bin last year. So we'll see what's going to happen there. And yeah, volunteers are fun. And here we've got some delicata squash, I believe. We're going to have to thin that out because too many plants too close together. You don't want that. So yeah, I got some squash, got some other squash back there. I'm not sure if it's the same kind or something different. I don't really pay attention to this stuff. I just want a lot of interesting things to grow. Got beans on this side. I've got some chard here. This is some stuff that I didn't really thin out very well because a lot of this just, I swear, we had a weekend of rain and everything just took off overnight, it seemed. So now I have way too much bok choy. Some of it's already starting to bolt. Got another variety back there that actually is doing a lot better in the hot weather. I think I've got two different varieties here. So whatever this is, that's pretty good. So, all right, let's move through the archway. All right, another fun thing about this archway is that I've got a couple branches of Paulownia, which is the Empress tree, or at least that's one common name, that I pruned last year. Had it in a hot, dry place, out of the rain, you know, figured it's dead. But then this year, I mean, look at this, it actually buds. Oh, I wish I could get this to focus. But it actually buds out, and I'm getting leaves on the thing. I mean, this is at least a year old, and it's still got life in it, which I just find fascinating. I've got some blooming, or I've got some leafing out in my garage, which is just pretty wild. Anyway, all right, so walk through the archway here. I've got a center raised bed. So this is like the main keyhole, which I love having a keyhole pattern here. I can maybe another video I can explain more about why that shape is so important to me. But anyway, got some onions. Another thing I like to do when some plants, I mean, these are from last year, use some of them, and now some of them are flowering. The bees love these flowers. So once something's flowered, a lot of times I'll let a few plants just go to flower, go to seed. You know, I've gotten a lot of vegetables just by letting things go to flower in seed in the garden, and I just don't have to do anything, and that's pretty nice. Yeah, this was another compost allium. So yeah, I just kind of let it do its thing. Got lots of carrots here. Those probably need to be thinned out. Potatoes, of course. See, the nice thing about this keyhole is that you can just, you know, everything's, especially with this one because it's a little bit higher, is that you can just turn around, and it's actually an efficient use of space. So I can reach all my beets here, and you just turn around in a circle. It's pretty nice. So now we're gonna walk out of it, out of that main raised bed, and then we'll start walking counterclockwise. So this is like the main path around the center bed. We've got another keyhole with a dead Nandina in it. I just decided I didn't want to plant that. Berries are actually toxic to birds, so I reconsidered actually putting it in the garden. So anyway, we've got another squash plant of some sort. I got some there. Let's see here. That looks like another random allium from the compost, so that's pretty cool. You just do your thing. Potatoes. And then we got some random stuff that I just needed to get it out of the pot and get it into some soil. This isn't a permanent location, so I've got flowering currant right here. I've got Calmia latifolia right here. And I've got, maybe I'll leave the herbs here. You get some rosemary, lavender, looks like some thyme there. And I've also got some St. John's wort. I'm getting into this other keyhole. And then Kira, bless her heart, got me some basil. I'd actually thought that I wasn't going to grow it this year because I never have good luck with basil. And unfortunately, she got it right before we had a cold, rainy couple of days. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, this is a really hot bed, but I don't know if the drainage is going to be ideal. So we'll see how they do. Another potato back there. All right. And then this bed is the tomato and pepper bed. I've got some stakes and some twine, and I just started. As these get bigger, I'm gonna put more rows of twine up to hold them up. And I've already fallen behind, and I really do intend to stake some of these tomatoes that are falling over and to prune them, because I'm always bad at this. Look, I've even got my jute here. So I'm really gonna do it today, the solstice. Finally get my poor tomatoes staked. Got some fruits already showing up and everything. Peppers have been hard, but it's been a difficult spring. It's been kind of cold. Some of these I grew from seed. Some of them are starts. And also the slugs, for whatever reason, have just absolutely loved the peppers. So I've had a really challenging time getting these more than a few inches. So yeah. And then here you can actually, if we go down this keyhole, this is directly 180 from the start. So got a ditch along here. I dug up all the grass. I'm just gonna stand here, and I'm planting wildflower mix. I mean, there's so much stuff in here. Some things I planted, like the yarrow, and then there's some bee balm back there, some agastache, and I've also got some things like this what's it called, daylilies, and I got some straw flowers and some other things, some other perennials that like needed to come out of their pots. So we're just going to have, my ideal here is I'm just going to have a wall of annuals and some perennials, and it's just going to be flowers, flowers, flowers. So it'll be great for pollinators. Might even provide a little screen for my neighbors and everything. I've got a lot of sunflowers in here. You can see some of those starting to come up. So yeah, I mean, part of this, I have no idea what's going to take off. There's a lot of, I got a Pacific Northwest flower mix. So yeah, we're just going to see what germinates. I was planting a bunch of old seed from years ago, so I have no idea what's going to pop up. I'm just glad that we've got a lot of sunflowers in here, because that's what I really want. I want the height. Speaking of height, hopefully I'm going to have a lot of good corn plants this year. I've got a whole section, I'm going to try to zoom out here, a whole section devoted to corn. That's the one time when my Ohio comes out, because I grew up in Ohio, it's land of corn. So yeah, I'm excited about that. All right, another keyhole. This bed is a neglected bed. I've got a little Brussels sprout plant that was donated to me after it had bolted, so yeah, it's neglected. Maybe I haven't grown Brussels sprouts before. I put that in the ground, and um, let's see, what else is here? Lots of tomatoes. This bed was just nothing but bare ground and some weeds, and then all of a sudden, I got a bunch of tomatoes, which sprouted up from seed just from last year. Some tomatoes had fallen on the ground, and so I'll need to do something about this. Got some sweet bay plants here and here. Those are tasty. Um, yeah, I got a few other things. So yeah, it's this bed is kind of random. Whatever happened last year, I just haven't really gotten to it yet. We've got some lemon thyme here on the corner, and another one right there. That stuff, oh man, it smells so good. Yeah, it's good. Then we've got a dahlia that survived from last year. I haven't really done anything to it, which is probably for the best. Seems like when I pay attention to these things, they get overwatered. It's really easy to overwater your dahlias. I'm not a dahlia person, so don't listen to me. My mom was. Yeah, she used to grow dahlias and win awards, at the county fair in Ohio. So that's pretty cool. I think I'd like to learn how to grow them at some point. At this point, it's this one plant is doing pretty good with my neglect. And we come around, and then we're back at the bok choy bed. We also got a little blueberry in there, and then we've got a huckleberry right there. Again, those were just things that needed to come out of their pot last year because they were really root bound. I don't know, so probably not going to stay there. But that was just a place to hang out for a while. And we finish our circle and exit through here. All right, and that is the mandala garden. Thank you for watching.